Good morning. This little guy knows. They always know. This little guy knows as well. They know. Poor little guys. And this morning I found out that if I tried to come back right now, I'd be one of the few people affected by these new rules and I couldn't come in. But that's life. Let's see. I'm gonna go to the airport and start this journey, which, like I said last time, is essential. Very, very essential.
Flying in these times is very different. Markers telling you where to stand, face masks and face shields, and very few other passengers.
I've got to transfer terminals from 2 to 3. I'm not sure if buses are still going. And otherwise it's going to be a taxi. It's very, very quiet here. I was here a year ago. Nothing like this at all. Super, super quiet. I can't believe how few flights there are today. I mean, single figures in terms of international flights. This place is absolutely dead. It's normally ram-packed. Look at it. That's crazy. So quiet. Even McDonald's is closed. I mean, McDonald's. This is a weird, weird world we're in right now. I don't know what's going on.
And I had a 13-hour stopover in this ghost town.
Right, checked in. It's all very serious. They check my form for going back to the UK, they check the swab test, they make you fill out a load more documents. I mean, flying is very, very heavily controlled right now. And so that's why I say that about people clamouring for travel bans. They obviously haven't travelled. A security guard just said, "Hey Joe, are you from America?" Which is something I hear in lots of other places, but I don't expect here. I don't think they've seen many foreigners come through recently. A lot more flights here than Manila. I mean, Manila would have been one of those ports for the day. So this airport's actually still quite active.
Doha still seemed to have a reasonable number of flights, and Qatar was a very good airline. Good food, good service, and very comfortable. Flying over the Gulf with my low-tech drone, a GoPro pointing out of a plane window, I saw desert cities, and of course, so many oil fields. Free Wi-Fi was very welcome, and soon the landscapes reminded me that I was flying into the middle of winter in Europe.
It's 0 degrees. I haven't felt 0 degrees for 8 years. And my shoes were in my bag. Shoes were in my bag, and this case is Daot. Hello. Oh, it's freezing. I stepped out there, just there, and thought, oh dear. Right, let's get out of here before we get caught.
Well, exactly.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Well, look at everyone else. Everyone else is
Sitting around.
everyone else is parked up waiting.
Yes.
I still had a 2-hour drive to go, back to Wales.
Right, so I've gathered these thoughts together a bit, and I'm going to talk about exactly what it is that's going on. It's early. It's still dark. 7:30 a.m. It's still dark. I can't adjust to this. Right, why am I back? Something happened yesterday. I had to be back to see that. That's not the reason. And they haven't called me in to take care of this new mutant virus either. Which, I enjoyed the speculation, actually. I'm not in MI6. As far as I know, I'm not. No one's trying to kidnap me. My wife and dogs are fine. My wife's fine. She hasn't left me or kicked me out of the country. That's fine. And I'm certainly not running away, giving up on anything. I'm definitely not doing that. I'm preparing myself for a new year, and preparing myself for what needs to be done here. And this is the thing. People have asked me, oh, you're crazy for... Okay, first of all, yes, I am crazy. Second, yes, I'm crazy for going back when there's this mutant virus. I can't go back to the Philippines. Yeah, I know I can't go back. I mean, that's a fairly major issue, yes. But this is how bad it is. I have to go back. I had very, very little choice but to go back. Right, this is what happened. I've had to write this out already. I've got some notes right down here. So if I look, I'm going to do that. A few people posted saying they can tell there's a health crisis in my family. And yes, there is. There is a health crisis in my family right now. Nothing to do with COVID. There's a health crisis in my family, and it's me. I'm the one with a very, very serious health crisis right now that I've been struggling with for a few months. I've been suffering from this condition for 15 years. It was diagnosed 5 years ago. This is something that I have a great, great advocacy for, and I just want to share this with you guys so you know this. I suffer from something called BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. And I put some links in the comments for you. If you want to read up on it and learn about it, please, please do. It's a very serious mental health condition that actually kills 10% of the people who have it. For men, that number can be double that. So it can be up to 20%. I've been suffering from this for many years, and this year it's got worse. This condition causes the basic feeling I have, the baseline feeling is emptiness. Emptiness that needs filling, and I'm often not that in touch with my emotions because the emotions are so intense. They come and go, and they come when you don't expect them. They hit you, they smack you, they make you react with anger sometimes, they make you react irrationally quite often, and yeah, it's very difficult. And a lot of this comes from, and they've tracked where this comes from, and this is very, very true for me when I look at how this formed in me, which was when I was about 13, 14. And it comes from abandonment issues, fear of abandonment. And my parents have always been very good to me. I'll tell you that. They've been very good. My abandonment issue come from when I was growing up, and teenagers are very, very harsh. And I had a lot of those issues in my childhood and my puberty from other people of my age. What it affects is the way I actually feel about other people a lot of the time. One moment I think they're great, one moment I think they're out to get me. And I'm getting paranoid, and I'm getting and these are issues that have really started to, yeah. I had this together for years, and I knew how to cope. I'd worked out that, and I built my life in such a way that I could cope, because I used to go from Daot to Qatar, and I spent a few days in those different environments, because that was the best way I found to deal with when my mind was going awry, was to give it something new to focus on. Fresh to focus on. And that's why I used to go traveling. I used to go traveling so I could just see something new. I used to channel this into positivity. March 2020. We all know what happened. I came back one day from Davao. I was there for just for 2 days on the weekend. We were building a new pond. And there was a barangay checkpoint. I got stopped, and all of a sudden everyone from the barangay comes in their trikes to me, saying, "Oh, you have to home quarantine. You've been in Davao. It's a red zone. There's 2 cases." At that point, I had to make this decision, which was to stay in Qatar. And I thought this wasn't going to last long. And then I didn't go back to Davao for 4 months. In those 4 months, I really developed a lot of paranoia when it came to moving around. And just in terms of going somewhere, just because I had some bad experiences at checkpoints as well, where I had everything in order, and they still, no, this is missing, next time, and the level of stress and paranoia I had, and just anxiety going up to these checkpoints, went through the roof. Actually, things were getting better because they eased up the rules in the middle of the year, and things, but then they got stricter. They went back, and all of a sudden I had this again. And look, I was away from my wife. I was away from my dogs, who I also love so much. And so far from, I'm away from home anyway. But I had coping mechanisms. Because look, the Philippines is a difficult place. It's a very, very difficult place. But I had coping mechanisms. All gone. I mean, they even took away my beer for 7 weeks. That was, even my unhealthy coping mechanisms got taken away. Look, this got to a stage where I'm going to have to put a trigger warning in right here, okay? Because I'm going to talk about this. I started developing very, very suicidal thoughts, which it comes with a territory when it comes to BPD. And I said earlier, there's a 10% death rate. The cause of death from BPD is suicide, and I call it death because if you get to the stage where you kill yourself, you are no longer making that decision. Your mind has been taken by itself in such a way that you can't see straight. That's why I say it's death from suicide, and it's not killing yourself. That's killing yourself implies you have a choice. A lot of the time you don't. And this is the thing. And I'm going to say this straight up. There was one day in, I think, October, November, I've forgotten, where I tried to hang myself in my house there, and the wood broke. The wood holding me broke, which is why I'm happy to be this big. But that was when I knew that this could not go on any longer. And as December passed by, there was the local lockdown in Qatar, and I said, I can't take this anymore. I can't take this anymore. It's going to kill me. I said, I can't. I have to get treatment, and I have to get treatment. And only that thought of, I can go home and get treatment, that's the only thing that gave me mental strength to harvest that fish at all. And it's a kind of adrenaline, but I had to use it. And that's the only thing that kept me going. Because I could get on that flight and I could go and do something about it. This is why did I go to the UK? The reason I realised I had to come back here is because even for me to pick up the phone and make a call that's fairly straightforward, can you come and harvest? It took me 4 days just to pick up that phone. 4 days. It took me to pull myself together and do that. It took me 4 days. 4 days just to pull myself together enough to do that. And yeah, that's why I had to come to the UK. I have to come to a place where I know how things work a bit more, and culturally I'm not afraid of stepping. I know how to work the system here. Yeah, environment's important in times like this. I mean, the Philippines is awesome, but at the same time, I often need this, break. And I just want to tell you about my hometown here, because I want to talk about home and get to the last stage, because people have been asking. Newport. So I'm from Newport. It's an old port town, obviously from the name, and it's an old coal port. Of course, there's no more coal here, which means it's a place that's quite depressed and quite down. My condition developed here during puberty. Obviously, a little bit from the surroundings, but also, when I was in school, and it started the trend of me developing traumas towards certain kinds of places. I said about this about my pond. Sometimes I couldn't even look across at the ponds because it gave me this trauma-like experience in my head, and so I left here in 2013, and I swore I'd never come back. At that stage, I got to about 2015, and I was really blaming this place for everything that was wrong with me. And I cut off everyone. I cut off everyone in my life here. But then 2017 came around. I was in the Philippines already. I was in a bad place, and I had no choice but to come back. And I wasn't happy, but it started my process of healing about how I saw my hometown. And so I came back again in 2019, and at that point I'd accepted this place. I had this certain maturity where I'd accepted, okay, now I know and I understand the UK. This is what it is to me. This is what my hometown is to me. And that's how right now I can come back here without that trauma. I can come back here and use this as a springboard and say, and I'm telling you this, I have the best relationship I ever had with my father, who I became a little bit distant from during my time overseas. And I have the best relationship now with my father because I've had that healing process. And talking of that, I mean, look, the Philippines is my home. Through all this, I'm not going to blame the Philippines for what happened to me. What happened to me is as a result of losing my coping mechanisms, because my coping mechanisms were judged as non-essential in most of the world. I didn't show you something about my flight. It's a round trip. I'm going to go back and fight another day. I'll be back there soon, if they let me in.